Hello and welcome back to Foos Entertainment for part 2 of the first 2 reviews of the night, which is the 4K 80s vampire cult popularity contest of Fright Night in The Lost Boys. And of course we just got done talking about Fright Night's 4K restoration and new version with Dolby Atmos and all the fun history about that. Now it's time to talk about the Challenger. And that would be 1988's, sorry, take it back, 1987's The Lost Boys. Now, the reason why I took me hesitation to do that is because, as far as memory is concerned, I believe that most of the theatrical run of The Lost Boys was in 1987 at the same time that Near Dark came out, which means that although this film may have been presented on the screen mostly in 1988, its release is 1987. Alright, I may be wrong about that, and like always love reading people that notice things that I don't. Matter of fact, there was on a review I did a couple days ago, a Nightbreed, I learned something I did not know, that there's actually 4 different versions of that movie. I always thought there was only 3. There's actually 4. Which is very interesting. I'm going to have to check into that. Maybe we'll review Nightbreed again. Basically, I'm going to go ahead and say what I said on the initial review I did of this movie. My very first review a long time ago. This is a little different review because of the 4K quality and the new sound presentation. And my opinions have changed somewhat on this film since then. But one thing has not changed about The Lost Boys is the same thing I would say about Goldfinger in the James Bond franchise. It is inspiration for, in a lot of ways, almost destroying the genre itself. If Goldfinger is the bastard grandfather of the goofy cartoon Looney Tunes Roger Moore James Bond films, and for some odd reason given James Bond a really comedic sense of humor that he never ever was even born with, then this movie right here is guilty as charged for leading the way for Twilight franchise, True Blood, The Vampire Diaries, and anything else that romanticizes vampires and turns them into your boy next door boyfriend of innocence and positivity and protagonistic tendencies, which is definitely not what a vampire is. With that said, it doesn't do it so extremely as I originally thought that it did. And that's after watching it fresh last night. Which I had to do because I was trying to find flaws in the 4K presentation. That's why I did that, so I could do this comparison between the two epic, iconic films. Don't let that fool you. All the reviews I do are completely legit. I remember everything. I just had to go over these two just one more time because I do remember that he had a little bit of a twitch here and there, and I had to remember where that was for the quality part of the review. The plot, I know I've talked about the plot before, but the plot is very, very easy and simple as well. Possibly more simple than the Fright Night one, so hopefully it's not as long of a review as that. After a divorce, a mom and her 2 teenage boys move to a Midwestern New England town to where the oldest teenager is obsessed with girls and motorcycles and leather jackets. The other one's obsessed with comic books and has like a feminist sense of personality. Well, the oldest one falls for a beautiful woman, not knowing where he's going to go, and meets up with a biker gang. What he doesn't know is that he's being recruited into a vampire clan. After being tempted to drink what he believes is wine, turns out to be vampire blood, and he gets converted into a vampire. Not understanding the changes that's going on with him, he discovers the horrifying truth, while at the same time his younger brother befriends a couple of outcasts, which he later finds out are vampire hunters. And everything comes full circle when the main character, Michael, played by Jason Patric from Speed 2, basically bows it on with the vampire clan led by Kiefer Sutherland, who plays the character David, and tries to uncover who the master vampire is so he can reverse his vampirism and save who he is fallen in love with, which is a very beautiful woman and a young child who also are half vampire like him, and he wants to reverse the vampirism that they're going through as well. And it turns out to be a very good versus evil battle to the finish, with a cliffhanger reveal that their mom's new love interest happens to be the head vampire. Featuring good music from G-Mac, with a song, I might add, that I'm notoriously and very iconically known for covering around Halloween time, and do a very good job. Maybe I'll make a video of that, make it closer to Halloween, because I happen to be a vocalist, so it might happen this time around. And The Doors, with the very famous song "People Are Strange," as well as the frontman of Foreigner that made a song of his own in this movie as well. Now let's go into the quality of the film. And oh yeah, the other actors, you also have the Cory brothers in this film. This is one of the first collaborations that you had. You had the Cory brothers, which of course would be obviously Corey Hillen and Corey Feldman. Yeah, was one of their first collaborations, and probably their most successful one. And yeah, definitely was a fun movie. Now let's talk about the quality real quick. The new 4K release of the film has a very good use of HDR10. So this is far more of HDR10 heavy than Dolby Vision movie, as far as I'm concerned, because I always see a lot of deep blacks and a lot of really bright contrast colors. And that's typical of Warner Brothers, because that's kind of what they do. They're more HDR10 driven versus Dolby Vision. Now, this film has always been on Blu-ray, because it has many different iterations on Blu-ray. It's always been in Dolby True HD. This is the first time it actually has a DTS HDMA sound presentation, and they went all out with this. The sound is so dramatic that you're going to actually disturb people in the house if you don't have it turned down a little bit. Fortunately, I own my house, so sometimes I really don't care. I'm trying to have a good time. So, definitely enjoy the new sound presentation. It's definitely pretty cool. And on that note of me owning my house, I do my reviews and watch movies in my bedroom as a courtesy. I don't have to do that. I do it as a courtesy because, contrary to some people that work with me, they think I'm, demonic or evil or pessimistic or a little too much of a firm hand at what I do. I'm actually not. I can be courteous at times too. But yeah, that's something I can say about that. Now, my reasons for liking Fright Night a little bit more than The Lost Boys. I think that's more iconic. It has more iconic characters in it. It's more gothic. It's more traditionally a gothic vampire movie that really is more authentic as a vampire film to me. While this one's more like a pop rock, driven, lighter, more humorous, more teenage-driven vampire movie. Don't let that fool you, YouTubers. This film, just like the last one, is very, very rated R, so nope, not for children. But that's pretty much all there is to say about The Lost Boys. And hope you enjoyed. If you have not seen The Lost Boys, fucking check it out because it's a great movie. And I'll see you guys next time.